There are fewer tools that bring the world together. Sport truly has the power to bring the community together. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you to Forbes and to all of you for coming here today on this wonderful evening or afternoon, which was supposed to be cool, but it's gotten pretty hot and I'm wearing a suit. But lovely to meet all of you, and we're delighted as part of Swing Capital to be included in this year's Forbes 30 Under 30 list and to share more about our world with you in the celebration of youth, success, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Now, the worlds that we come from are not too dissimilar from the themes of what we have here in this wonderful summit in Elguna. We come from the world of sport and finance. And when you marry the two, you get something like Swing Capital. So on behalf of the entire team, as managing partner of the firm, we're delighted to be here, introduce more about our world, and hopefully invite you in it as well. So it's an interesting thing to observe. When we typically tend to look at the world of sport, our sort of main thinking was we need to tap into the local market and the international market, and how do we create value? In effect, wanting to make sport an asset class that people would want to invest in, because it's an under-the-radar, resilient asset that we generally not tend to give that much attention to. However, there's a lot of impetus and, well, frankly speaking, good for the wallet as well. So essentially what we do at Swing Capital, we have a three-pronged approach in terms of our core functions. Number one, which we're typically known for, is we run as a venture firm and invest early-stage technologies in sports, media, lifestyle, and that sort of ilk in that realm. Some of the companies that we invest in, or the types of companies we invest in, are some of the wearables you're wearing on your wrists, player analytics, insights, back-end technologies for sports teams and leagues, as well as streaming platforms. So these are some of the technologies we tend to invest in. We also help bring sports to the Middle East because there's a rise of a desire to make the Middle East a hub for sport and entertainment here in this part of the world. So that's number two. And number three is we help facilitate acquisition of assets. So if you want to buy a sports team or a sports club, we tend to help with that as well. And that, most of our sweet spot tends to be in European football. So if you want to buy Manchester United, let me know, I'm a fan. We'll help them make the deal come through and, get that happen. But in any case, that's sort of our focus point, essentially, as Swing Capital. And we want to service this region. It's a firm that is built for the world, but with the roots here in the Middle East, because we see a flourishing, blossoming environment for all of us here. And the time is right to build now with the focus of the regional governments in Saudi, in the UAE, even in Egypt. Elguna has a vibe to be a sporting capital of Egypt too. So we find ourselves at the right place, at the right time, and the time to build is now. So despite all of this, when we think of sport, we always think of it from the perspective of being spectators, right? Everyone knows a team, watches a team, has an understanding of sport, but we don't really think about how do we go to the other side of the pitch, pun intended. How do we make sure that we capitalize commercially on these investment opportunities? So there's a lot of ways for even regular investors to get on board through venture investing, not only look at real estate or stock market, but perhaps into asset classes that have value and ownership for something that you enjoy, something that's supported by the regional governments here, and for a market that's on the rise. It's a 25% increase year on year for fund investment, generally speaking. But from the perspective of even the realm of sport, media, and lifestyle, the technology, the innovation part of it, it's a 15.1 annual compounded growth rate year on year until the end of the year. So it's an incredible time to get in the space. The energy is right, the time is right, and we hope you know a little bit more about our world today. We invite you to join us. We look to build together, and it's wonderful being in this community together. Just one parting word that we had from the great Madiba, Nelson Mandela. There are fewer tools that bring the world together. Sport truly has the power to bring the community together. And we saw fantastic examples in the World Cup in Qatar, in Saudi, we're seeing Formula One events. So the time is right. We want to build. We want to be ecosystem enablers here, and we invite you to be part of our journey. Thank you for having us, and hope you have the rest of the summit very well. Thanks so much.